What you doing, Goofy? Come on. Got the zoomies. Good evening, everybody. I just got back from Red's opening day, and it was absolutely packed. But gave me time to think away from my garden, and I think I've come up with a solution to a huge mistake that I did with my fruit trees. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If you've been following the channel for any amount of time or seen a video from last year where I did the orchard out here, these have been planted in these half barrel plastic food safe barrels. They've been planted out here for a couple of years now. Now I did get this one, I think this apple tree right here last year, and I do believe this cherry tree right here. I had one right here as well, but it died. But they've been out here for a few years is the point, except for the other two I got last year. That being said, I think I made a huge mistake. The mistake that I made on these fruit trees is I planted them in these containers in the first place. That was the mistake. I should never have done that. I should have just planted them straight in the ground like I thought I should have. But me, I wanted to take these with me whenever I move out of this location here. That was my mistake. I should have definitely went ahead and put those in ground. However, I didn't want to put them in ground in the location that they're at currently because I'm next to, kind of close to somebody else's property. I didn't want to infringe on somebody else's property or any piping or any foundation work or anything like that. So I didn't want to do that. However, I think I made a decision finally. I have a hole in their backyard. Duh. So just through my fence, I'm going to put them in ground right along this fence. There is no house or anything on that side. Plenty of open space. Don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I don't want to put them in the middle here. We're going to put them off to the side, just in case we want to do anything right here. All right, so I guess now we're supposed to get a really bad rainstorm tonight, or thunderstorm, windstorm. I think we're supposed to get a wind shelf, or and I know we're supposed to get a nice good windstorm. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move them over here in the containers and set them there. Not go ahead and put them in the ground, but just go ahead and bring them over there. Let them get good and saturated. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to do it all tonight. Like I said, I just got back from the Reds game. And I don't know if I'm gonna have just enough time. Maybe an hour and a half. I don't know, I might. We'll see. I've got it marked out with marker paint where I want to sit these exactly. I'm just going to sit the barrels there with the plant or with the trees in them. I'm not going to mess with them tonight. I ran out a little bit of time here. I had to do a couple of things really quick, but I did bust out Old Faithful. Had to bust the old dolly out. I'm not breaking my back on this. Let's see if I can get this to work solo. Whoa. Let's see if there we go. Caught on a branch. Burrow. There we go, little hump. Bingo. Get over here. Leave him alone. Those are all in the spots that I want them. So let me go over what we have here. Here we have a Sweetheart Cherry, and this is in full bloom. I need another cherry to pollinate it. That's where I made a mistake on this one. I will be getting one of those in the next week or so, and it's going to go right there. So 2 cherry trees next to each other. Here we have my plum. Now I can't remember if this is a Stanley or a Santa Rosa, but either way, I will know by the end of this year. If this doesn't pollinate and give me some fruit, then that means this is a Santa Rosa. Santa Rosas need pollination. Stanley plums do not. This here is a pear. A D'Anjou pear. Don't know how you pronounce it, but that looks pretty good. Finally starting to bloom. It's been about 3 years since I've had that. I've had this one about a year. This is the 2nd year. This is a Claps favorite. I got this to pollinate that one. And here in the smaller container, we have a Macintosh. And this is one of the newest trees that I have. So just now starting to bud. I don't know if you can see that, but just now starting. Then over here we have another apple, Snow Sweet, and this one is blooming as well. Now they did take a little damage from the fact that we had a nice week of frost. That was a problem with these containers, is the fact that they heat up a lot faster and force the plant to bloom a lot faster than it needs to. This one is another apple, full bloom. And this is, I do believe, Candy Crisp. This is Candy Crisp, and it's in full bloom. And underneath it, I have a bunch of strawberries. They keep coming back every year, so I just leave them. But we're gonna put this one in the ground now, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep those strawberries there or not. Well, we got these in here, got them sitting where they want. Don't have just enough time to do any kind of burying them yet. I'll wait until the next sunny day. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some rest. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, Goofy? Come on. He's got the zoomies. He's got the zoomies. All right, so it's been a couple of days. Sun's shining. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I think I'm gonna go plant these trees. So I guess my plan is to start with this one, work my way down. Good morning. I am back outside, and I got those in. Let's go take a look. I also installed the gate. And here they are. I got all 7 of the trees that I had, all in ground, staked and supported. And I also have them separated to the angle that I want. That's going to maximize production, at least in theory. The last one that I put in was this cherry. I did space a little bit further than I wanted, just so in case I had to, I could put a pollinator plum to pollinate this one, just in case this one is not as self-pollinated as I explained earlier. It turned out great. All of them are good. I did insert some compost and some bone meal into each hole, then transplanted the plant in, then topped them up with some more compost and bone meal, then spread what dirt that I could from the container over top. Since it was composting, it was actually steaming. It was composting so much. It was doing work. Pear tree is looking great. Full bloom. Pollinators are out doing justice. This one is finally starting to break. Got some action happening here. And these are doing great as well. This one's a little bit further out than what I would like. I think I am going to have to come in here and do a little bit of trimming here. Even though I don't want to, I'm going to have to. Because if these put on some apples, they're not going to hold. They're going to snap off, and it's going to snap the branch off. So I might as well just go ahead and trim and let it heal and fix itself. Right here, these look good. I do need to put a spacer in between here. That way I can pull this one down to a more 45-degree angle. Anything over a 45, they're going to put on a lot of vegetative growth. If you pull them down to about a 45-degree angle, between a 45 and a 60, they will put on more fruit. Look at that. That looks good. And this one is a Macintosh. Nice. They all have a stake. They're all tied in, except for the plum. I do believe the plum was the first tree that I got. So this thing is very, very sturdy. Plus it had the best hole dug for it. No roots, no nothing. So it got very deep. Perfect. This is trimmed to an open center. More of a vase shape to allow light to penetrate in. Produce more flowers, more fruit. And the cherry. Putting on good blooms. Not quite sure about this one yet. I am going to pick up another one here very, very soon. All right. So, that's the fruit trees. Now, let's get into why I actually did it. I did it because I was under the assumption that these were going to heat up quicker, put on blooms faster when pollinators weren't out to pollinate the flowers. Then I would get no fruit. So that was the theory behind it. After looking, I was pretty close, but I wanted to do it anyways. This area right here that I'm going to be using, that did have the trees, that's going to house, I think, my cucumbers or some squash or something. So stay tuned for that. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, stick around. We got a lot of stuff growing this year. You'll see.